welcome along to part 3 of this fantasy save where Manchester City have been relegated into the Championship. Please don't let it happen in reality. We're not having a good time at the moment. While we're at it, it's lovely to see the viewing numbers for this save, the comments, the likes, and well, it all helps to the channel to grow, and hopefully it'll give me the inspiration to carry on in this channel and do some more interesting saves whenever FM25 comes along. And I'm answering all of the comments, so if you want to have a chat with the famous Gobby Gaffer, I'm only joking. I have got a stadium named after myself though, the GG Stadium. If you want to see that, you'll have to go onto my other channel and watch the Football Manager console version where I'm playing with Sarah, and it's a South American team and I've dropped them into the Premier League and we're doing okay playing in the GG Stadium in Manchester, don't you know? Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, do all of that kind of really good stuff because, apparently it helps all of the YouTube algorithms. Okay, less of the waffling. Let's get back into the game. And we've got about 3 weeks now before our first game in the Championship against Watford. And, the squad is looking, it's not threadbare, but we have got quite a few of the very young EDS players who are going to have to start the season if I don't do some loan signings. I don't really want to spend too much money, if I'm honest, because like I've said before, the finances are a little bit volatile and I'm not sure whether we're just going to lose a chunk of money all of a sudden through loans. I mean, in this save, we're still paying for, a lot of the big players. So that's still on the books. Like I say, very volatile. But we'll be doing a few loans in today's episode. Okay, the scouts are beavering away and I do need an attacking midfielder on loan. We've got this lad has just come to my attention. Noah Makembo Ntemo, and he's from Tottenham, 18-year-old, 3-star currently, 5-star potential. So I think we're going to see if we can take him on loan. So quite happy with that. 70% of his wages, 8,500. We can easily handle that. So we're going to suggest the terms. They've said okay. So hopefully, as long as he's okay to coming to us, then we should have a nice loan signing in there. And of course, one of the biggest losses to the Manchester City squad is the big man up front. Yep, Erling Haaland. And as we've seen, well, he's gone to pastures new. But we do need a striker. Another loan player from Tottenham, Jude Soonsup-Bell, half Thai, half English, which is a very, very important. 21-year-old and looks very, very, very good. Very, very quick. 6 foot. Can use either foot as well. I think we're going to go in for him. Slightly more for this lad, 50% of wages, 13,000. But again, we do need the players. And, bringing these players in on loan is really going to strengthen the squad. And another one here is a very useful player, this lad. He likes to play as an attacking mid, but he's reasonable left-footed. He's very strong right-footed, but he can play in a variety of positions. How old is he? 21, from Crystal Palace. Brazilian lad again, looks very, very useful. So it's Mateus Franca, and I think we are going to try and take him on loan as well. So 50% of his wages, 12,500. We're going to go with that. So anyway, we made 3 offers there for 3 players. Hopefully they all come in. But we are going to need still a backup keeper. We're going to need a backup striker. And, 1 or 2 more players that I kind of feel that I need to, fit into this squad and make it, strong enough to compete in the Championship. And then hopefully going forward, let's see if we can get back into the Premier League. Like I say, I have no end game with this save. We're waiting for Football Manager 2025. Come on, Sports Interactive. March can't come quick enough. But let's just see what we can do with this fantasy save. Well, the word is out. The Gobby Gaffer is back in town. Burnley have just offered me an interview. Obviously, we're not going to take that. In other news, Bernardo Silva has just left Real Madrid. He's gone to Saudi, 106 million. And while I'm thinking about it, somebody in the comments noticed that the board requirement for the season is to play direct counter-attacking football. I wish. In real life. Well, that backup striker could be Firmino, a 24-year-old Spanish lad. Not too much money, 3.4 to 6.4 million. I think I'm getting near maxing out my loan players. I can only have 5 in the match day squad, and I've got 4 at the moment. If anybody else comes up, then fine. But this lad, for that kind of money, let's make a 6'3", by the way, right-footed, and it looks quite quick, very aggressive. Could be a lot of yellow cards, but anyway, let's make an offer for him. So it looks like it's going to be another ESC place because it looks like he's not got the required bits and pieces for a work permit. But anyway, let's see what they say. 3.4 million, and they've gone for that. Weirdly, that doesn't normally happen in Football Manager. They normally want 25 million for a 3.4 million player. I don't know what's going on. And how about this for, well, I don't know about a backup keeper. He looks very, very good. Half French, half English. So we've got the English thing in there again, which again is going to be very important going forward. 24-year-old, and they want, it's crossed out, so I'm guessing they're going to want more than 8.4 million for him. But for a decent backup keeper, and as we know in Football Manager, you always need a decent backup goalkeeper. Well, in fact, you need decent backup everywhere because the injury situation is a bit off the scale. But I think we're going to put a bid in for this lad. And of course, they've gone a bit bonkers there. 10.25 million, 9.25 in instalments. But let's just get rid of these and see what we can do here. Let's just up that to 15. I don't mind paying 15 million for a decent keeper. Let's see whether they'll accept that or not. They've accepted that. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention, lots of clubs sniffing around Phil Foden, primarily Newcastle. They have put a bid in once for him. He's a proper Manchester City lad. He doesn't want to go. He's turned them down once, but I'm sure we'll get to a point where, well, he will want to go to, a club that's playing in the Champions League, and we won't be able to refuse the money on offer. So I think Phil Foden will be on his back. If we keep him, absolutely brilliant, because going forward, obviously the aim is to get back in the Premier League again. And, that's where Phil Foden lives, isn't it really? In the Premier League. Well, I've just negotiated with Firmino, the striker, and, he was as happy as Larry. On the other hand, Etienne Green has no intention of joining us. He's not interested. He believes that playing in the Sky Bet Championship for Manchester City wouldn't be a good career move. Ooh, very picky. Okay then, let's see if Benjamin Goschel is as picky. A 19-year-old, probably more, it's probably a better situation for a backup keeper. He's coming in 2.5 star with 5-star potential. I don't think they're going to want much more than about 5 million for him. 6'2", very right-footed, but as a backup keeper, I think very, very worthwhile, and I don't think he will turn us down. Well, apparently, he has a buyout clause of 5.75 million, but he's got 5-star potential. Let's go for this lad. And what do you know? He's very interested. Let's see what... playing time. He wants to be a backup as well. Well, that fits in with my plans very nicely. Who was the other lad? Very picky. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's see what we can do with him. He only wants 6k a week. You know what? At 6k, I think we're just going to give him what he wants. I don't really see any point in negotiating. He's got a buyout clause of 14 million. Let's do that. Let's say, come on, join the party. They do want a loan back, and that's not in my plans. We don't want to be giving a loan back. My word, are my scouts working hard? So this one's just come up. They finished scouting this lad, 26-year-old Callum Slattery. English again, and looks a very, very useful player. And we do need some players in the middle of the park. So I think we're going to have a look at this lad. He looks all right, doesn't he? Up to 4.2 million. I mean, I'm guessing they're probably going to want more than that for him. Let's make an offer and see what happens. 500,000. He's not going to go for 500,000, is he? Okay, so they want 7.6. So what I generally tend to do, I don't really want to put too much on the drip with this City side at the moment, with the finances as they are. So we'll go to, let's go to 5.5 million on 5.5 million. Let's see whether they'll accept that. Yes, they have. So possibly another central midfield player. You can't have too many central midfield players. And he is interested in negotiating terms. So he wants to be a regular starter. Let's take that off. Don't like making promises to players. Let's see what we can do with this lad. He wants 17k a week. He's not asking for too much other than that. I think we'll just top division promotion wage rise. Let's take that off and see if he'll accept 17. He will. That's fine by me. And Callum Slattery has indeed decided to join the club. So we'll get him straight on the training ground. And we'll try and get him into our way of playing. Direct counter-attacking football, anybody? Have a mind to give it a go, you know, just for a chuckle. And the Sky Bet Championship top player odds from Planet Football. And Callum Doyle is in there, 9-1. And to be honest, I've got high hopes for Callum Doyle. I mean, he's a 4-star player with 5-star potential. So he can either play centre-back or left wing-back. He's going to play left wing-back for me. Got high hopes for him. And the Sky Bet Championship top young player odds from Planet Football once again. And Claudio Echeverri from the Argentinian lad. He's 11-1 for that. So nobody's really seen him in the Premier League in real life. He comes in January of 2025. Again, got very high hopes for this young lad. And the young 19-year-old goalkeeper Benjamin Gottschall has been granted a work permit, so we can accept that. We have our backup goalkeeper now. And just a little bit of news on the backroom staff. My assistant manager's contract ran out, so Tom Freddie Orner is coming in, and looks very, very good actually. I think he'll do all right as my right-hand man. However, we do have to. They're blocking it, so we are going to confirm that. And we're going to ask him to take over the previous assistant manager's duties. Fernino's work permit application has been rejected. We did put an appeal in. That was rejected as well. But we are going to allocate one of the ESC places. We have 4 of them, I think. So we are going to allocate that, and hopefully it will work. In the test, I did this, and it didn't work. So hopefully it will work. Well, I think the squad's shaping up quite nicely now. If we just have a quick look through it. I'm not saying I'm not going to make any more signings. The unfortunate one is Fernino has come in. And, well, he had problems with his hip on the 1st of July. And he's out between 4 weeks and 2 months. So not ideal. I might be making another signing there. But anyway, we've got Soomsup Bell as the advance forward. Phil Foden, he's still with us. So he could play up there. We've got 1 or 2 players who can play as forward now, who can cover for Fernino until he comes back. We've got Natemo as the attacking midfield player, but Oscar Bob can play there. Echeverri can play there. Got quite a few players who can fill in there. Obviously, the other lad, Mateus Franca, who we've got on loan. I think those 2 will be rotating in that position. Echeverri, the Argentinian lad, and I'm trying to use as many of the Manchester City EDS and backup players as I can, but obviously we've had to add to the squad for, you know, injuries and just squad depth as well, really. But not too bad on that side. Oscar Bob's going to play on the right hand side. Again, we've got some quite decent backup over there. The midfield, we've got Jacob Wright in there, but we've got 1 or 2 players who can fill in there. Perone, again, 1 or 2 players who can play in there. But we've got the new lad, what was he called? Slattery, who can drop in there. Centre-backs, Bitsiabu is going to be the starter. Callum Doyle can fill in there, but he is going to be my left wing-back. But we've got quite a few really promising young centre-backs in the EDS at Manchester City. So obviously they will be getting a chance. Kabore is going to start as the right wing-back, but Katongo can play there as well. He can also play centre-back. and Callum Doyle is going to be a bit of a superstar in this team, I think, as long as we can keep him fit. But Wilson Esbrand can play over there. One or two of these players we've already seen. If you watched any of the Manchester City games, we've already seen some of these EDS players. And of course, the goalkeeping department, we've got Plizzari, our new Italian goalkeeper. Got high hopes for him. And Goschel. The EDS didn't really have an awful lot in there in the goalkeeping department. So obviously, goalkeeper, a very important part of the team. But I think the squad is shaping up quite nicely. So the new rule of thumb is to try and keep these episodes quite short. I would like, going forward, I would like to just have one game episodes to try and keep them around the 12-15 minute mark. Whether that will work or not, I don't know. But I am trialing one or two new things with this save, and obviously showing all of my transfers and how I go about that, you know, like wage negotiations. I mean, whether that works or not for you, I don't know. Comment down below if you find it all boring or too much, or you know that already, then fine. But I've never really done that in any of my saves before. So I'm trialing one or two things here, but I am trying to keep the episodes down, time-wise, if you will. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. The next episode, I promise you, we'll get down to... we probably will have a couple of games in the next episode, because I don't think there's going to be much more transfer activity. Maybe one or two in. I might go and sign another backup striker, seeing as Firmino is out for a while. I might do that, but certainly I would think a couple of games in the next episode, starting with Watford, Manchester City's first game down in the Championship. Look forward to seeing you there. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, like I say, and well, we'll see you very shortly.